My kids are back to school. And dinner topics are usually, how is school? What are your favorite subjects in school? So would somebody like to come up and be my first table topic volunteer? And I'll ask you a question. So usually when I ask my kids, what's your favorite subject in school, I get lunch. What was your favorite subject in school and why?
It's hard to say. I had 3 subjects in school that were my favorite, and I think it was mainly because they were my favorite teachers, the most dedicated and probably the best teachers. Far and away, my favorite subject was the, what would you call it anyway, the singing teacher or whatever, the choir teacher if you want to call it. The group I was in all through high school was called, we call it the ensemble, and we would travel to different schools and over spring break. I think we had like a 2-week period right around spring break where we would go tour. We went to Texas one year, went to New York 2 different years. I saw some Broadway plays. And so that was a great program to be involved in. And I did all that through high school and in college. I was in a singing group too. And then I had a math teacher who was just this really dedicated math teacher. He ran the math team, which I was on. And lastly, I had a really good English teacher, Mrs. Waite, I'll never forget. And so I was kind of pulled in different directions. Math, English, and choir were my 3 favorite subjects.
Any other volunteers? Q, would you like to come up? So my oldest is a senior, and we're trying to help him get some focus and get his last year ready so he's going to college. What advice would you give to yourself as a senior getting ready to enter the world after high school?
Myself and not your son?
Not my son, yourself. If you were to go back and talk to yourself and give yourself some advice.
Well, actually, when I was younger, I was more serious than most kids. Most kids, by the time they're 15, they want to be 16. 16 want to be 17. At my age, at 16, you get to drink. I was actually the exception. I was very serious. I knew from growing up, from being an immigrant, that education is the most important thing. That's the key to success. Therefore, I didn't want to grow up that way. I always wanted to stay 15. I want to treasure that because of my past. I know living in a free country, being allowed to run outside without listening to the warming. So for me, I always cherished every single moment. And so I would not change what I had done at high school because I always embrace every moment of my life because life is very important for me. And then school, that was always my focus, is getting school, getting better and better and better, and be successful in school. That would help you with your future. And I believe that's the way I would do it again. I would do the same way, and I would advise your son to do the same.
One more question. Any volunteers? Jacqueline, you want to come up? Are changing their free dress code policy to uniforms. Where do you stand on the uniform policy? Are you for or against it, and why?
I'm against the uniform policy. Number one, because that means that I would have to go out and buy new clothes for my children. I know that some people that like the uniform policy say they don't have to think about what the children are going to wear. But if you can never find your children's clothes anyway and they're always dirty, then having only 5 uniforms is not a good idea, and that's where I am. I like my kids to be able to roll out of bed and roll to school. I like the fact that, you know, they can just go in their drawer and pull out whatever, even if it's too small or too big and wrong color. You know, they have crazy day all the time where they can wear whatever they want. Those are my favorite days. And also the crazy hair day, although that's every day in my house. So I'm absolutely against school uniforms. You know, if the uniforms were a little more cool, maybe different colors, then, but I think the kids being able to pick out their own clothes gives them a sense of individuality, and they get to develop their own personalities, and it helps the teachers and other students realize how to relate to them. And so I am against school uniforms. Thank you. You have time for me.
One more? Anybody would like to come up? Monica, would you like to come up? Oh, sorry. Anybody else?
See how everybody look down at their paper.
I'd like to record myself.
All right. So, as children, we all have dreams of what we want to do when we grow up. How close to you are to the dream that you had as a child?
Well, my school dream is completely different than my actual dream. My dream was to come to the United States. Like, I actually had it vividly in my mind. I actually dreamt about it growing up, and like I didn't remember New York City in my dreams, maybe because I was reading a lot of books about New York City, but that was my dream, to come to the United States. In school, I had no ambition, no. I just wanted to play and do the things that I like to do, and I've been doing that for my life. So ever since 14, when I was still in school, I started doing work and actually working for some companies and enjoying the things that I do. And they decided they wanted to pay me. I didn't ask for it. So, and in that respect, my high school dream was to do the things that I enjoy doing, and I'm still doing them. And that is my story. Thank you.
Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, our tabletop is master. Okay, and now it's time for our evaluation.